Chapter 1: The Arrival. It began centuries ago. The Earth's environment was bad. People needed room. They wanted freedom. Therefore, humans started moving to other planets. They started colonies on more worlds, one after the next. There was peace and success at the start. The different worlds were not separate. They worked together as a group. They depended on each other. Then things changed. There was fast population growth. The individual planets needed more food. They needed more supplies. Each colony wanted more for themselves. Then the trouble began. Wars started everywhere. There were changing political views and agreements. Colonies fought for land, power, and weapons. In the end, two main empires remained, the Earthlings and the Caucasians, and both empires wanted it all. The Earthling government was based on Earth. Its capital was Paris, France. Political officials met at the Capitol building. There they discussed matters like law, the economy, energy, and the war. The emperor of the Earthlings was an old man named Valier. He was voted into the office many years ago. The election was not fair, but that did not concern Valier. He had led many wars. He had lost only a few. He was a ruler who did anything to win. One day Valier was speaking to his ministers at the Capitol building. "We must stop the fighting," he cried. "Our empire's economy cannot take more war. Our people are hungry. Our cities need roads. Many Earthlings need homes, lights, and food." A man named Aldine spoke. Aldine was Valier's most trusted minister. "But sir," he said, "the Caucasians keep attacking us. We can't just sit here. This nation needs a strong military. We have to protect ourselves." "I agree, but there is something we can do. I have done something that..." Suddenly there was a lot of noise outside the room. The door opened. A security guard entered. He was holding a woman. She was fighting and shouting, "Let me go. I have news for the emperor. Let me go." Emperor Valier looked to the door. "What's going on?" he shouted. "I am leading a meeting." "I'm sorry, sir," the guard said. "This woman wants to talk to you. She says it is important." "Fine, go ahead. What is it?" The woman was suddenly very nervous. She had never spoken to the emperor. She began speaking slowly. My highest emperor, I'm sorry for my behavior, but I have news." "What type of news?" asked the emperor. Then he added, "Hurry up. This is an important meeting. A capsule has landed on my farm, Emperor." "A what?" "A space capsule. I believe it's a Caucasian space capsule, Emperor." "How do you know it is a Caucasian capsule?" "My husband. He fought against the Caucasians. He described them to me." The ministers and the emperor were silent. Finally, Aldine asked, "Another attack? Are they attacking the capital?" No, the woman said. "The capsule has no weapons, but there is something inside it." "Inside it?" said the emperor. He looked around the room. "What could be inside it?" "I don't know," replied the woman. "I was too nervous to look." The emperor called his guards. He told them to get to that farm fast. The guards and the woman got into a vehicle. Minister Aldine went with them. On the way, Aldine spoke with the woman. "What's your name?" he asked. "My name is Kira." "Kira, that's a nice name. Are you a farmer?" "Yes, the farm is all I have left." "Do you live with your husband?" "My husband died in the war." Aldine suddenly felt uncomfortable. He changed the subject. "What does the capsule look like?" Kira looked at him closely. I'd rather you see it yourself instead, she said. Then she turned away. All right then, said a surprised Aldine. They were silent for the rest of the trip. The vehicle arrived at Kira's farm. Aldine and Kira got out. They went to the capsule. The guards waited in the vehicle. There were marks all over the ground. The capsule was on its side. It was open. Kira, I thought you didn't look in the capsule, said Aldine. I'm sorry. I didn't tell you the truth. I didn't want to say anything. Not until someone else saw it. Saw what? Look. Aldine slowly approached the capsule. At first he couldn't see anything. Then he saw it. Inside the capsule there was a little girl. It's a child. A child, he called. He looked at Kira with surprise. Yes. That's why I didn't touch or say anything. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to get a doctor, but... Right, thought Aldine. The girl is unconscious. She might need treatment. We need help. Aldine ran to the vehicle. He told the guards to call for a doctor. He then carefully picked up the young girl. He took her inside Kira's house. He put her on a bed. A half hour later, the girl was still unconscious. Aldine finally left the room. Kira went with him. So tell me, Aldine said, do you know anything more about the capsule? No, but it's Calcian, isn't it? Kira said slowly. Yes. And the child? Asked Kira. She looks Calcian as well. But what's she doing here? Why have they sent us a child? I don't know, replied Aldine. When she can speak, perhaps she can tell us. Has she really traveled across space? It seems so. Most likely there was a bigger spaceship. They probably put her in the capsule. Then they left her close to Earth. The capsule likely landed itself here. At last, they heard a vehicle coming. 2 doctors came in. They wanted to see the girl immediately. Aldine and Kira stayed away. It was late. Aldine looked hungry. Kira asked him to join her for something to eat. Do you have children, Kira? Aldine asked as he ate. No, my husband and I wanted children. But then the war came and... I'm sorry. It's okay, she said and smiled sadly. As he ate, Aldine looked around. The house was nice. It was clean and simple. It was the house of a woman living alone. Soon Aldine noticed Kira was watching him. Did you want to ask me something, Kira? He asked. Yes. Well, go on. What will you do with the girl? Aldine paused. Finally, he told her the truth. I don't know. I don't even know why she's here. Suddenly, one of the doctors ran into the kitchen. The little girl is awake. She can talk. Chapter 2: The Girl. The girl from the Calcian capsule was conscious. Someone needed to talk to her. Aldine was a minister of the emperor. He was the person to do it. He walked into the bedroom. Kira joined him. They sat down. The girl looked sleepy. Finally, she asked slowly, where am I? Kira and Aldine looked at each other in surprise. She spoke English. The girl looked around. She saw the guards. Suddenly, she became very frightened. The doctor gave her a drug to calm her down. She soon went to sleep again. An hour later, the girl's eyes opened. Where am I? She asked. Then she looked at Aldine. Who are you? She asked. Her English seemed pretty good. Hello, Aldine said. My name is Aldine. This is Kira. We are Earthlings. Please stay calm. He paused. How do you feel? I'm okay, she answered carefully. She didn't trust them. We don't want to hurt you, Aldine explained. The girl was still frightened. She didn't answer. Kira gave it a try. Hi there, she said slowly. Can you tell me your name? My name is Maha, the girl replied. Everything's all right, Maha. My name is Kira. And this is Aldine. You're at my house. You were hurt. We've been looking after you. Am I in your capital? The girl asked. She looked out the window. It was late. She couldn't see much through the glass. She could only see a few trees and fields. It doesn't look like a city, she said in surprise. You are near the capital. Not in the capital, explained Aldine. The emperor is still far from here. When the girl heard the word emperor, she became frightened again. I don't want to go home. I'm 13 now. I can make my own decisions, she shouted. Aldine was surprised. Why didn't the child want to go home? Why did she say that? Something strange was going on. Why don't you want to go home? He asked. I don't like Kalkia anymore, replied Maha. You don't like Kalkia? Asked Aldine with surprise. What do you mean? I don't want to live there anymore. Why do you say that? Well, for one thing, my family is never home. Yes. And? They ignore me. They don't spend time with me. They don't care about me. So your family ignores you? Said Aldine. Yes. For a long time now. And because you were lonely you came here? Asked Kira. Yes. My father is always working. My mother is always traveling. I stay at home with carers. My father pays them to care for me. I don't like being with them. Aldine was beginning to understand. The girl had run away from home. Just a second, Maha. Are you telling me that you left home? That you ran away? The girl looked down. Yes, she answered. Aldine stood. He looked down at the girl. Excuse me. I need to go out. Aldine left the house. Kira followed. Aldine stood looking at Kira's pretty farm. He was thinking. He seemed uncomfortable with something. What are you thinking about, Aldine? Kira asked. Something is not right here. What do you mean? The girl ran away from home, but she can't fly a spaceship. She's 13. I get it. Someone helped her. Yes, but who? Let's find out. Aldine and Kira walked back inside. They walked into the bedroom. Hello, Maha said. Hello again, Aldine said, smiling at her. Maha looked Aldine directly in the eye. I will not go home. I want to stay here, she said firmly. And why do you want to stay here? Like I said, I don't like my carers. I don't believe you, said Aldine calmly. It's the truth. Yes, but there's more, isn't there? She sighed. Yes, there is more. I thought so. Tell me. We are losing the war. People have no food. Many people have nowhere to live. We can't survive much longer. I'm frightened. Aldine sat down beside Maha. He looked at her closely. You can stay here for now, he explained. But you have to understand, our two worlds are at war. I know that, she stated quickly. I'm 13, not 6. Aldine laughed. Then you understand. There are many factors here, he explained. There could be huge developments because of this. There will be effects at national and international levels. Yes, Maha said, looking down. But they still don't know where I am. She quickly added, I can just wait a few days. Then I can go somewhere else. Aldine looked at her. It was time to figure out how the child had got here. Maha, capsule is not an easy method of travel. You didn't come here alone. You're too young to travel across space without help. Maha looked up. You're right, she said quietly. I can't fly a spaceship. Who did then? I can't tell you. Aldine was very patient. As a minister, he was used to dealing with people. Maha, we need to know who helped you. If we don't know that, we can't help you. Maha was silent. Then she spoke. It's. Don't worry. You're safe, said Kira quietly. Maha looked at them. Then she said it. It's Valier, your emperor. He helped me. Aldine stood up quickly. He looked at Maha with concern. Then he looked at Kira. The guards looked at all of them. Valier? Said Aldine. That can't be true. Maha looked down again. Yes, it can. I received a message from him weeks ago. He said he knew I wanted to leave. He wanted to help me, so he had his spies find me. Spies? Yes, there are many Earthling spies on Kalkia. Aldine put his hand to his head. He walked around the room. So the Emperor had helped a Kalkian child leave. He just couldn't understand why. This is unbelievable, he finally said with a sigh. After a short while, Maha spoke again. Well, actually there's more, she said quietly. Aldine turned and looked at Maha. What more could there be? He thought. At last he asked, and what is that? Maha looked him in the eye. My father. What about your father? Asked Aldine quietly. My father is the emperor of the Kalkians. Chapter 3, The Truth. Aldine couldn't believe it. Maha was the daughter of the Kalkian emperor. The girl could cause world chaos. And all because she was lonely? Because she thought Emperor Valier understood her problems? What had she done? Then Aldine realized something. It was not the girl's responsibility. She didn't really know what she had done. She was just sad. And a man named Valier had helped her. He was the problem, the emperor. He was responsible. What was he thinking? Aldine had to find out. Aldine left Kira's house. He got into a vehicle and drove to the capital. Once he was there, he went directly to the emperor's office. Suddenly a security guard stopped him. You're barred from entering, said the guard. Aldine was surprised. Barred? I must speak with Valier. Do you know who I am? I'm a minister. Those are the emperor's orders. No access for you, Aldine. Aldine wondered what to do next. He had to talk to Emperor Valier. Without thinking, Aldine hit the guard on the head. The guard fell to the floor. Aldine took the guard's weapon and entered Valier's office. The emperor was in his chair. He looked worried. Aldine, what do you want? He sighed. Why didn't I know anything about the child? What child? Emperor, I'm not stupid. Valier stopped. Okay, no more acting. What do you want to know? Why is the Kalkian emperor's daughter here? Why did you do it? His voice became stronger. It's not our policy to use children. Valier stood. Then he shouted, it is not our policy to lose wars. Aldine looked at Valier. Then he asked, why didn't you tell me? I didn't tell you for one reason only. And what is that? The emperor looked down. I knew you would not approve, he answered. I didn't want you to influence my decision. Valier was right. Of course Aldine would not want a child involved in a war. It just wasn't right. What are you going to do with her? Aldine asked next. With Maha, we're going to take care of her. She's only a child, the emperor said. Aldine didn't trust him. I didn't mean that, he continued. I meant what's going to happen. What will happen when the Caucasians find out? Will she be hurt? Those are good questions, all of them, said the emperor calmly. Aldine looked at the emperor. He would not accept an easy answer. The emperor began to speak again. The Caucasians know that Maha ran away, he continued, but they don't know what planet she went to, nor do they know that Earthling spies helped her. So you see, they don't really know anything. He looked at Aldine carefully. The emperor wanted to judge how Aldine felt, and if they figure out that you helped her, they can't possibly find out. The spies won't tell. No one here knows, except you. Aldine stopped to think. But why? He asked. He just couldn't understand the emperor's reasoning. Why involve a small child? Why take her away from her parents? Because of who her parents are, answered Valier. The emperor looked at Aldine as if he were stupid. Don't you see the benefits? We now have the emperor's daughter. We can use her for controlling the Chalkian emperor, for power, for anything really. Valier looked Aldine carefully again. Were his words influencing Aldine's opinions? Aldine's face showed nothing. Do you get it now? He continued. We can use Maha to get what we want. The Chalkian emperor is in our hands. And all because his stupid little girl felt ignored. Valier let out a big laugh. It was a laugh that made Aldine's heart feel cold. Aldine looked at the emperor. Here was a man who Aldine had always trusted, a man who was so important to Aldine, but now all Aldine felt was disgust. Valier was using a child to get what he wanted, and he would not let it happen. Aldine smiled and said, I understand very clearly now, Emperor. As you wish. Aldine turned and left the emperor's office. He walked quickly through the streets of the capital. Aldine didn't like what was going on, but he could not show it. If the emperor learned that he was against him, Aldine would be killed. There was only one person Aldine could think of for help, one person who the emperor couldn't influence. He had to talk to her. Aldine took a government vehicle. He drove quickly to Kira's farm. He knocked on her door. Kira, are you there? Kira opened the door. Yes, she replied. What is it? Is the girl still here? Asked Aldine. Why, yes. They haven't taken her to the capital yet. Good, replied Aldine. But a vehicle is coming now, she added. Oh, well, we have less time than I thought. We have to hurry, he said nervously. Take me to her. Aldine and Kira walked into the bedroom. The girl was sleeping quietly. We have to go, he said. Go? Go where? Asked Kira. Aldine looked around. He couldn't see anyone. Where are the guards? They're at the capsule. Good, Aldine said. Now's our chance. Our chance? Kira asked. She looked confused. To take Maha away, answered Aldrin. Kira sat down. She looked at Maha. The girl looked comfortable for the first time. You want to take Maha out of the capital? No, I want to take her off the planet. What? Said Kira. Why? Maha's a confused and lonely little girl. Emperor Valier just wants to use her. He will use Maha to influence the Chalkian emperor. Aldine explained Emperor Valier's plans. Kira simply couldn't believe it. Do you see now? Aldine asked. I don't want them to hurt Maha. Unless we get her home, she doesn't have a chance. We need to take her to Chalkia. I can't do it alone, Kira. I need your help. Kira thought for a moment. She looked at the little girl. She then looked out the window at her farm. Finally, she looked at Aldine and said, "What have I got to lose?" Kira told Maha they were going to the capital. They all got into Aldine's vehicle. Aldine drove for hours. The nearest space station was far. On the way, Maha slept. When they arrived, Aldine told the security guards that they were on secret government business. The guards said they wouldn't tell anyone. Kira and Aldine carried Maha to a nearby spaceship. They left the station without a problem. Maha woke when the spaceship took off. She wasn't happy. Aldine felt sorry for her, but he knew they were doing the right thing. The trip across space took several weeks. The spaceship neared Kalkia. Aldine spoke on the radio. "This is Earthling Ship 12913. I must speak with the Kalkian Emperor. I am Minister Aldine of the Earthlings." The radio came to life. "Why do you want to talk to our Emperor?" said a guard. "We have his daughter." The radio went silent. Soon Aldine saw a warning on his computer screen. Kalkian military units were coming. They waited near the spaceship. Suddenly the radio link came to life again. "Give us Maha, or you die," said a voice. "You're not going to kill us," said Aldine with certainty. "I want to talk to your Emperor." Then he added, "Now." Again the radio went silent. After several minutes, a powerful voice came on the radio. "This is the Kalkian Emperor," the voice announced. "Give me my daughter," he said and paused, "and I'll give you your lives." "We will give you Maha on one condition," answered Aldine. They waited. "What is that?" came the voice. "There must be peace between Earth and Kalkia." The Emperor was silent for several seconds. "Why should I believe you?" "Because we have brought your daughter back," answered Aldine. "Because I know the war has been difficult for everyone. Think of the economic problems. Think of the hunger and hurt. Both of our worlds are finished. This must end." The radio was silent again. Finally, the voice came back. It was softer this time. "I agree," said the Emperor with a sigh, "and I accept. Give me my daughter and we will work towards peace."